Hold on to your hats. This could be interesting.
Welcome to TCBI Questions, the show where we ask the tough questions and the not so tough questions totally at random. And joining me is Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
We've kind of vaguely known each other for a while, but this is the first time we're actually kind of talking semi face to face.
Yeah, there's a lot of third party and Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's kick it off with the starter question, shall we?
Yeah, great.
When my internet decides to wake up. What's your all-time favorite meal and how often do you enjoy it?
It's probably something like really bad Chinese food. I wouldn't have it very often because then I get sick of it and have to choose a new food. So it's one of those things that it's always in the distance and I can never touch it because I'll spoil it. But yeah, that'd be my ideal food, would be like sweet and sour Chinese with noodles.
Yeah, you eat that too much and you get sick of it pretty quickly.
Exactly. And then you have to taste all these different foods and you get the bad ones doing that.
What's my all-time favorite meal? I don't know. I'm more of a dessert person.
No, fair enough.
But yeah, like cheesecake. There you go. If I could have a meal that was just dessert, it would be cheesecake.
See, my problem with dessert is, in my mind, I can have it whenever. Like,
yeah.
On how my dad working at a chocolate factory, but for me, sweets were whenever, during whatever time of day. So for me, dessert is like, I can have that any time of day, but like meal is like one time. Like, this is your one big food of the day, so you got to pick well. Whereas dessert can happen whenever. It can happen at 10 in the morning, can happen at 11 at night.
That's true. Yeah, though I think our parents would like to tell us that, dessert comes after the meal.
Yeah, but no, that never worked out for me well. I was always like, it's not a meal, it's just like a small thing, because dessert's always smaller than a dinner, so it doesn't feel like a... Yeah.
Well, you'd hope it was smaller than a dinner.
Yeah, ideally it should be.
Are you want to go ahead and pick a category?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's do 500 fathoms. Okay. Have you ever been humbled? Describe the details.
I think when people are, recognizing something that I've done for them, it's humbling, to have someone I look up to. I can't think of anything specific, so I'm going to be kind of abstract. Like someone I look up to thanking me for something, or telling you did a good job or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I'd probably be the same, or if someone I know, someone that like, say if it was like a childhood friend or someone that I was really close to did something amazing. Like if one of my friends from primary school like cured cancer, I'll be like, well, now I feel, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, wow, you've done this thing and now I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. Yeah, absolutely.
I get that so often with Facebook. It's like, someone's had a baby, someone's engaged. And I'm like, I managed to cook myself a proper meal that my parents were proud of tonight. So, woohoo.
Yeah, that's so weird because we're both reasonably young, and just seeing people that I went to high school with like having babies, it's like, what? No.
Like two of my friends within about 2 weeks of each other announced their pregnancies, and I'm like, oh, well, I just got a cat. So we're basically on the same level here.
Well, a cat's kind of like a child, right?
Yeah, I'm debating, like, I always have a moral battle with myself about how well I should treat my cat. On one side, I'm like, it's a cat and it's my responsibility, but on the other side, I don't want to be a crazy cat lady, which I'm verging on quite badly.
I think you'd probably be a bit more. I'm on the same level if you get a dog, because apparently having a dog's like having a child.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Apparently they're just as expensive as well.
Yeah, I think if I got older, I'd be like, oh yeah, I could get a dog. It's like a starter, maybe.
Trial run, yeah.
See how I went. Yeah, no, I get that.
down to 100 fathoms. What's your favorite birthday memory?
Oof. Favorite birthday memory. This is quite a sweet one. I think I actually spoke to my dad about this recently in the past month. I was about 6, maybe 7, and we were on our first family holiday on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we were actually driving on the day of my birthday, which for a 6 or 7-year-old is tragic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember we were in this small town on the West Coast, and we pulled over probably to get like lunch or something. And I remember sitting in the car, and I looked to my right or something, and it was a toy shop that had the blue penguin toy,
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want that penguin toy. My dad's like, right, it's your birthday. And he just runs in and buys me the penguin toy, and I'm just like, this is magic. I think I tried it a couple more times, but it only worked the once.
Yeah, it's just something that you probably only try once. And it's funny because I know your dad, so I can just see him doing that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but it was like one of those times where I was like, I want that. And it happened. I was like, ooh, birthdays.
Ooh.
Birthdays make things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like people always say to me, it's your birthday, so we'll do whatever you want. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I get that when people sing happy birthday. It's like, do I join in, or do I clap awkwardly, or do I just sit there and passively? That's always my problem.
Yeah, it's going to say, well, I'm the center of attention and everyone's kind of singing badly at me, so I'm not entirely sure if I want to be shocked or look happy or what do I do? Because I want to go, oh, this is awful, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I think in high school what I'd do is I'd like awkwardly start pretending to be a choir conductor and be like, yep,
nice.
I am the name and finish. And everyone's like, oh, she's so funny. I'm like, oh, that was entirely too uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to break it up, though. Yeah, especially as everyone's looking at you anyway, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Look at me for a reason.
Yeah, instead of just because it's this day.
Yeah.
I don't get, maybe I'm getting old, but I don't get that excited by birthdays now. It's like, yeah, cool, birthday. Yeah,
my last birthday, 23rd, that was surprisingly medium. I was like, this is a lukewarm birthday. But my friend, I'm turning 24 in July. My friend texted me. She's like, we're going to get old soon. And I just remember texting back, like, oh, no, this is good. Now all my Nana phases are finally coming. Like, they have a reason. I can stay home.
Yeah.
I'm not 23. I don't have to get drunk. I can stay home.
Hey.
Yay.
Yeah. No, even at like 21, I never saw the interest in that. Favorite birthday memory for me, I think it was my grandmother, mum's mum, used to make these amazing birthday cakes for me. Like one year I had a train and I think she made me homemade lamingtons in the shape of the year. So however many years old I was, I can't remember what it was.
That's so cool.
And they were just some amazing cakes that she made. Like this train cake, it was like the engine and then like 4 or 5 carriages and it was all little cakes. And that's the one I remember the most.
Yeah, I find like when you think about birthdays, it's all like the little things that are really big. Like, oh, I went to, whatever. I had a great day. I went parachuting. It's all like the little things. Like, my dad did this, my grandma did that. It's all like the little things that like make it really special.
Yeah, I think some people probably say, oh, the presents and money that I got. But it's a nice bonus. But you'd hope that most people didn't think that was the best bit.
Yeah, and to be honest, when it comes to like birthdays presents for me, I'm kind of like, what do I need recently? Like, oh, I kind of need this. Yeah, I'll need that in a month. Let's go for that.
Yeah, what practical thing do I need?
Yeah, that's pretty much me these days. What practical thing do I need?
Yeah, I don't like kind of pointless presents, like, gimmicks or whatever. It's like, well, what am I going to do with that? Give me, a knife set or something, or a new fry pan or something that I can actually use.
Yeah, though I will happily accept a present if it's like uselessly crazy. Like I remember when I must have been like 21 or 22 or something. My friend got me one of those like giant novelty toys from the warehouse.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yes, I definitely don't need this in my life, but I have it now.
And because it's so crazy, it's good.
It is. I think those are my favorite. Just like the uselessly like hilarious ones. I'm like, this is good. I will never need this or want this or use this, but it is good.
It's good. Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean there.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Okay, let's go with religion and spirituality. Okay, in what ways do your religious beliefs impact the way you live your life?
Yeah, so because I reasonably recently converted to Catholicism, I kind of integrated that into my life a reasonable amount. So, in what ways? I guess it's more about inside me, like the way I think about people. That's changed a lot. Like, thinking bad thoughts about people a bit less, because I was always really bad at that, and try to be more patient and more tolerant about people.
That is a very strong answer. Let me reread the question again. I kind of had an interesting religious raising because my main religion was Christianity. Like, till I was a kid. On my dad's side, they were Catholic. And then my sister, she became very scientific based when she was in high school, and she kind of ricocheted to the other end of the spectrum and became agnostic, the one where you don't believe in anything at all.
Atheist.
Atheist, yes. And she became like quite driven on atheism. So I've just kind of settled somewhere in the middle.
Right.
I'd say I'm definitely I'm the Hufflepuff of religion, essentially. Where I'm like, absolutely fine to believe whatever you want. Just don't hurt anyone with it. Like, yeah. I mean, if it's not hurting you or any of your people, any of your, circle, why should it bug you? And I think that's where a lot of my discussions stem from. People like, no, but society. I'm like, look, is it, when you're at home, is it going to bug you personally? No. Then if it's not going to hurt anyone, let it be.
Yeah, no, people get so riled up about religion, which is why it's a separate category, because then people can avoid it if they want to.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest, like, pester about, like, I don't want to say society at the moment, but the whole church and state issue. People say church and state, but then there's the church is kind of pushing the government towards, like, the issue of same-sex marriage. It's a big issue for the government, but it's being pushed by the church. And so I'm kind of like, you have, civil union partnerships, but then a church can decide whether they personally would believe that. And I get that. But it's one of those things where church and state just becomes too mingled sometimes. Yeah.
I think it's hard to avoid, though, but even if you look at, as a, like, really basic example, having Christmas Day and Easter as public holidays, you can't really get away from that anymore, but that is also kind of a bit of a mingling.
Oh yeah, actually I absolutely get that. I'm very much, when it works for me, it works for me. Like, I'm studying currently with a big mix of international students.
Yeah.
And a lot of them hadn't heard about Christmas up until last year.
Wow.
And we had to do a presentation on it from class for some reason. And I was like, Christmas, everyone knows this. You have a day off, you get to eat a lot, you get presents. And these other people were like kind of explaining it as they didn't know it. They're like, oh, it's a public holiday, but it's about religion. And I'm like, sounding a lot like American Thanksgiving right now, but I suppose it's all up to interpretation.
Yeah, because even though New Zealand's kind of secular, everyone has Christmas. It's just a thing that people do, and for some people it's a religious occasion, and for some people it's not. But everyone's still, vast majority of people, if they don't celebrate it, they know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And people should be allowed to have, days off in their own time to celebrate their religion. So I think I might backpedal on what I said earlier about church and state. It's too much of a mixed topic to have, like, a deadline. So
yeah, I got you there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. All my beliefs have been crumbled.
If you had the opportunity to travel into space, would you go? Why or why not?
Yes.
Yes.
That, for me, is a strong yes. Probably not right now, because I feel like if I went into space, apart from maybe doing a loop around the Earth in zero gravity and then going back, there wouldn't be a lot to do. Whereas maybe with Elon Musk's help, in like 40 years' time, if I went into space, I could go to Mars and chill out there for a week and then come back. Whereas now it's kind of like, would you like to drive to an empty field and sit in an empty field and then drive home? But the driving's really fun.
Yeah, and at the
Whereas in
moment,
50 years,
it would be
you
I'm
drive-
pretty sure it would be a one-way trip at the moment to Mars as well.
Yeah, there was that clip years ago about like first people volunteering to go to Mars, but you can't come back. It's like, well, it's nothing really on Mars at this stage. It's kind
Yeah.
of, yeah. So I definitely would, but right now I don't think I'd get a huge bang of money I would spend.
Yeah, no, you really wouldn't, because there's like the space tourism. They I can't remember the name of the people that are doing it, but you can pay to go to space, or the edge of space at least.
Yeah.
I would love to go to space, but I'm not sure my wife would appreciate it.
That's a fair. What if you could bring her with you though?
Yeah, if I could take her with me, that's assuming she'd want to go, which I'm pretty sure she wouldn't. Then absolutely, but yeah, I don't think my wife would appreciate me going, so I'm going to go to Mars and I won't be back.
Yeah, no, I could get that. I get that. Just like, oh yeah, I'm going to another planet. It's not you, it's me and the Earth. Bye-bye.
Yeah, don't like this planet anymore. See you later.
Yeah. Right. My turn?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 1,000. Okay, was there ever a time when you were in need and someone met that need? Describe.
I'm usually the one that's always there for people when they are in need. There, of course, there have been times when I've needed it, and most of the time there are people there, but I tend to not reach out to people a lot of the time because I'm always the one that's helping people.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I'm the same to an extent. Like, I'll try and soldier it as much as I can, but then I get to a level and I'm just like, no, I can't. Just call everyone, call my mum, call my dad, call my sister, be like, help, please. I've messed up so bad and I need help. And usually I've been like, oh yeah, of course. I'm like, oh, you actually helped. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That says a lot for my doubt in the people I know doesn't be like, oh, you actually helped.
Yeah, you're actually surprised. I'm not sure that's such a good thing.
Yeah, whereas like on my end, if anyone asks for help at all, I'm like, yes, 110% I will help.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, maybe not rely on the help. I don't know, maybe I should look into that. Wow, this is turning into a therapy session.
Well, the 1,000 fathoms questions do tend to make you think about like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's pretty much everyone can say that there's at least someone that's there for them.
Yeah. You always have that like one person that you're basically, code red.
Yeah.
That you need to call them and be like, look, no questions, but I'm in trouble and I need the help.
Yeah, please help, but don't ask why or judge me.
Just don't ask how I got in this situation, but I'm in Russia and I need help. Don't ask. I made a joke on Twitter and it didn't go well. Help.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of my jokes on Twitter fall flat.
I made like the best one the other day and I was so disappointed that I only got one like, which was my dad. I know, it's even worse. And it's even worse because my dad really goes on Twitter. He'd say, oh, I just tweeted that joke. He's like, oh, I like it. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he just pops on Twitter just because you've told him that you've tweeted. He did that a few times with me as well.
Yeah. Mind you, I very rarely use Twitter. I think Twitter's mainly like my weird joke and thought. We both have like a mutual Twitter friend that just goes on constantly. And I like go onto my Twitter feed and I just see all of his tweets. I'm like, oh wow, I can see his whole day. Whereas me, it's like once a week. I'm just like, why do Russians love Mars so much? Because it's a red planet. Hey. Crickets.
Yeah, you definitely picked up your dad's sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of my dad jokes.
So you should be though, the best kind of jokes.
Exactly.
All right. How old is the oldest pair of shoes that you own?
I'm actually trying to picture my shoes. There's probably one about 4, maybe 5 years old, I want to say. So about 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago, I went to Europe for 2 months. And then 2 years ago, I went to America for 6 months. And during that time, I left with not a lot of stuff. I came back with a lot of stuff. And I just basically looked at all my wardrobe and went, I didn't use any of this for 6 months. It's all got to go.
Yeah.
But there's like maybe 2 pairs of shoes. I'm like, maybe that one occasion that I'll need to wear these ridiculous shoes.
Yeah.
I'd say about 5, maybe 6 years old. That'd be my oldest pair. And it's like a pair of horrendously comical high heels that I bought at like Kmart. And I'm just like, I will always wear these. And I wore them once. And I'm just like, ow.
Yeah.
Straight back into Kmart and bought a pair of flats.
Nice.
That, fun fact, was one of my birthdays. I bought a pair of heels on the day of my birthday. I wore them out for an hour at a restaurant, and then finishing at the restaurant, I was like, can we just stop at Kmart? I need to buy a pair of flats.
Nice.
That's the sort of girl I am when I party. I'm like, nope, no heels.
Oh, yeah.
All the way to Kmart.
They just sound like a lot of effort for not much gain.
Yeah. Like they're good when you first put them on and when you're sitting down, but the rest of the night, it's like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the oldest pair of shoes I own is like 3 years old, and it's a pair of work shoes. Because I have my work shoes, and then I have the shoes I wear all the rest of the time, and that's about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those work shoes, they're really expensive, but they last a long time.
Yeah, like spend $200 and they last 3 years. It's awesome.
Yeah, I get that.
All right.
Start with 100 fathoms. Okay, what's the best prank someone pulled on you?
All right, I'll give you the story of the prank your dad pulled on me.
Oh, okay. My dad's notorious for pranks, so this is going to be good.
Yeah, so this is the Annoyatron. Do you not know what that is? It's it's a little gadget that makes noise and talks at random intervals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turned into something of a tradition at work to, use it on all the new people, but I was the first person he ever used it on, and it took me so long to find the damn thing.
Oh, that's the best. I think I remember him talking about it. He's like, I bought a thing today. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's for work. I'm like, oh, why are you telling me that? He's like, it makes noises and it annoys people. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he'll come home during the week. He's like, I used it today. And I'm like, did you get fired yet? No. Okay, good stuff.
I don't think he ever used it on our boss, but... Well, not while I was there anyway, but yeah, he used it on everyone else, and it drove me so crazy, and I was so mad when I figured out what it was. Because I knew about it before he used it on me, but I didn't click that that's what it was.
Oh, that's the best. I'm trying to think of the best prank that got pulled on me. I think it was also by my dad. Because he just likes to mess with people.
Yes, he does.
It was what was it? I think it was a tech one. So my dad has a hobby of putting webcams around the house to point outwards into the scenery because New Zealand has beautiful scenery.
Yes.
He likes to have webcams of it. And there was one webcam where he could spin it round.
Yeah.
But it was very loud. It'd be like, and I'd know it was spinning round. So one time I was just chilling out and I was on my own in the house and I heard it spinning about 4 hours before the prank happened. And I remember spinning, it's like, oh, he's just playing with it, it's fine. And then he spins it back. I look in the room, it's facing outwards, all good. And then a few hours later, he takes a photo and he sends it to me. He goes, there's someone outside. And he's like, basically, he's taken a screenshot and like put a little person in. And I basically flipped down like,
wow.
Yeah. It'd be that, or there was another one. Basically, I was living with my parents at the time. This was about 3 years ago. It was like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, right, I'm going to my room for the night and I'm watching a horror film. So don't mess with me, yeah? And my dad's like, oh, yeah, I won't mess with you.
No.
I should have seen it coming.
Yeah, of course you should have.
Basically, he like comes in to like see if I want a tea at the end of the night. He's like, oh, how's it going? I'm like, really scary. Don't interrupt me. He's like, okay. And then like 20 minutes later, he like crawls around the outside of the house and like starts scratching on my window. Joke's on him though. I think I locked him out.
Oh, nice.
I think I like jumped down, just like locked the door. I was like, "Ha, you can't come in now. Who's won?"
Yeah, nice.
So yeah. All right. Is it your turn?
Yeah. Let's see. Go 500. What's your most treasured heirloom?
Oof. Treasured heirloom. I think it's probably a ring that I inherited from when my grandma passed away. Yeah, I think it was a ring. I've got some other heirlooms that like are basically knickknacks.
Yeah.
And they've got like emotional treasure to them. But I think like my valued treasured heirlooms that if I was like a 60-year-old widow, I was like, don't touch them, it'd be that ring.
Yeah.
It's like a gorgeous ring that has a long story on it, but it's like to explain it, it's gold band with like a little I don't know ring terms, but it's like a diamond seated in a little gold holder.
Yeah.
But the gold holder is in the shape of a little star. So the diamond looks like it's a little star. It's the prettiest thing ever. I got it when I was about 19.
Right.
It's the prettiest thing ever. And I'm like, yeah. So that'd be my heirloom.
I have little cat figurines. I think they're porcelain or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I've got those. They're still sitting in a box because I don't really have anywhere nice to display them where I'm sure they won't get broken.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I've also got a whole bunch of, they're not as much heirlooms, but I've got a whole bunch of Christmas tree decorations that I had when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Mum gave those to me. I think some of them might have been passed down, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm sure that she'll let me know because I know that she's listening.
It's always a bit of a worry when you like know in the back of your mind someone's listening. You're like, oh no, you just careful what you say. They're gonna come back to me.
Yeah, I kind of have to get past that because I have a bunch of people that listen to these. So it's like, yeah, I just have to. Yeah, you don't want to say anything that you don't want to be out in public.
Yeah, I get that. When I was in high school, I used to volunteer for the Otago radio community show.
Yeah.
Back then it was called like Otago Air. I think it's now Or Air or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I used to volunteer there once a week, and it was very chill business at the time, organization. So it used to be me on my own, but then I got really bored just on my own, being like, and the next song is Anika Moa. Yay. So I brought my friends in and we just started chatting. I think, it was pretty good until about 2 weeks later, someone's like, oh, I listened to your show the other day by accident. It was quite nice. I'm like, oh, God.
People are actually listening to this thing that I'm broadcasting on the radio.
Yeah, and then you think back to all the things you said. You're like, oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, now that's a bit scary.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to start a question.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the weirdest place you have found something that you lost?
I think everyone's answer to this is in the fridge.
Fridge?
Yeah, like, you're watching TV and you got the remote in your hand and you go to get a drink and you put the remote in the fridge and then like an hour later you go, I want to change what I'm watching, but where's the remote? And you backtrace and there it is in the fridge.
I think my answer would be my bookcase. Yeah, my bookcase. Mainly because like when I was a kid, like, I don't know why, but I always thought it was a really good idea to hide stuff in books. Like if you got a $5 note for your birthday, you'd hide it in a book. And I remember before I went to the United Kingdom, this was in 2013 maybe. Yeah, 13, maybe 14. I hid some valuables because I'm like, if anyone breaks into the house while I'm away, I want to know that this is safe.
Yeah.
Hid it. I forgot about it, and I did not remember till almost a year and a half later when I'd come back from the UK, been in New Zealand for a while, went to the United States, and then came back. I was going through my bookshelf. I'm like, oh, look at that. And hidden behind like 2 books were like my treasured jewels. I'm like, oh, right. Because I hide things in my bookcase. So I'd say that's the weirdest stuff.
You had it so well that even you couldn't find it.
I know, and I remember I got really mad after I came back from the United Kingdom before I went to the United States. I was actually in a panic. I'm like, I've lost them.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that was like really expensive jewelry. That's like it was a special gift. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And then
yeah.
Back from United, I'm like, why isn't it in my bookcase? All right. So yeah, I'd say if I went around my house and went through all the bookcases, I'd find a lot of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, to anyone listening, if you break into my house, don't look in the bookcase. There's nothing there.
Yeah, now you spoiled it.
You're gonna have to start hiding stuff in the fridge.
What's the sweetest present you've ever received?
Ooh. I feel like going with a pun here because this is off the top of my head, but I remember about 4 years ago I got a gumball machine
Nice.
for my birthday, and I was like, oh, gumball, but it was empty. And what they'd done is they'd taken the lid off, and I think they put like it was like a type of toy. It was like a plush toy it was probably like a baby or some sort of like candy related toy. And I'm just like, this is perfect because it's useless. I never wanted it, but now I have it and I like it.
Did you fill it with gumballs?
No, I still have it. It is sitting on my bookshelf. It probably has jewels in it, knowing me. And I have not put anything in it, which is annoying because I've probably bought enough sweets to fill it this year.
Wow.
But I've not managed to like had the mental capacity to fill it and then like slowly have the candy.
That's an annoying question. I don't know.
I went with a pun.
Like I said, most of my presents are generally practical because people know me and they know that, gimmicky things or whatever aren't that exciting for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that one.
Fair enough. That's why I went with a pun because I'm like, I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Right. I'll pick 1,000 Fathom one. If you could restore one broken relationship, which one would you choose? Why? Have I read that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why there's a hyphen between relation and ship.
I genuinely thought of like an actual ship.
One broken ship
like,
that you
relationship.
Relationship. So, like a family member, but a ship instead.
Or like a family member on a ship that's sinking. You're like, that one.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. I don't really have any broken relationships that I can think of, or not ones that I'd want to fix anyway.
Yeah.
They're generally broken for a reason.
I'd say there's probably like the odd friend that I've had that we've just drifted off, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd want to, be friends with them again.
Yeah.
But like, for example, one's in America, and I haven't seen her since I was like 8 or maybe younger. I'm like, if we did fix that, it's kind of like be kind of hard to
maintain it still with all that distance. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got a few friends in America just from when I lived there for 6 months, and it is challenging sometimes when I get like group texts from them at like 4 a.m, and I have to kind of get up and be like, okay, we're doing this. We're just texting at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you go back to sleep, and then you'll text them at what's an appropriate time for you, but it's like 2 a.m. for them.
Yeah.
It always means that like your conversations are like a day apart at a time.
Yeah, no, that's really hard. The time zones. I have a few friends like in the UK, and that's 12 hours. So you kind of get a couple of hours at each side of the day to talk, and that's about it.
Yeah. I find UK is pretty easy to remember the time zones with. I'm just like, add 12, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. But with America, I always struggle because it's like -18.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, what is that? So yeah, I always have to check my phone and be like, what time is it there?
Yeah. Yeah, and time zones are dumb, especially those ones like so far behind us. It's like hello from the future.
Yeah, I remember when I was in traveling through Europe, I was traveling over New Year's, and all our friends were like in New Zealand celebrating New Year's.
Yeah.
And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning for us, and we were just like, not yet.
No, not quite.
And then it like later that night at midnight, I'm like, oh, Happy New Year. And they're like, it's the next day. We don't care.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah, 'cause New Zealand's pretty much one of the first, well-populated countries to have New Year's, which is always really interesting.
Yeah, I remember over the millennium turnover, when it became 1999 to 2000.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, a ton of people have gone to Gisborne today because that's where the sun first hits for the new year. I'm like, but why Gisborne?
Yeah, it's not a very exciting place.
Yeah, I get geographically, but Gisborne, really? Just wait half an hour and go to Auckland.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not that much different.
Yeah. It's like when you found out, I think it was like last week before, the CIA had like a top secret meeting in Queenstown, but then a big US airplane landed in Invercargill. And you're just like, but why Invercargill? But why? If you're going to land somewhere big, land in Christchurch and then just drive in, it's the same length of time.
Yeah, or, just land in Queenstown.
Yeah, I think Queenstown's a bit small for a big plane. It was actually kind of funny when they did land. There was all this really obvious security because Queenstown's really small.
Yeah.
Franklin's even smaller, and it's like this tiny airport. So like all these people were kind of standing going, why did 5 jet black cars just drive onto the runway? Something shady is happening.
Yeah,
I remember
not suspicious at all.
Yeah, ODT had like a big article about really obvious super secret meeting happening in Queenstown.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, really obvious. And they even printed like they're staying at Millbrook. And I'm like, how secret is this getting? Like,
yeah, it's kind of hard to have anything secret these days, especially if it's big like that.
Yeah, or if it's in New Zealand, because apparently we're just rubbish at keeping secrets.
Yeah, and pretty much every news day is a slow news day in New Zealand.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's kind of fun. That's a fun bit about being in New Zealand. You don't have to worry too much about how much your country's imploding. You can just look at other countries and be like, maybe just shut the borders for a while. Yeah.
What's the best bargain you've ever found?
Oof. So I admit I'm an addict to the website AliExpress.
Uh-huh.
So I've probably found a ton of bargains on there that I've been just like, oh wow, I can get this for $1. Okie dokie. So I think, yeah, something like that. I remember I actually got them today. It was a beautiful pair of makeup brushes designed in the handle shape of Harry Potter wands.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I'm actually really proud of them. But you could get them online for like $70, and I think I got them for maybe like $10.
Yeah.
But they're obviously knockoff. I mean, they feel knockoff-ish, but I'm still like, hey.
Yeah, they still look okay, so that's fine. Yeah, no, I agree. eBay and AliExpress are so good.
Yeah.
Just buy everything from there, as long as you're willing to wait, because 3 or 4 weeks for shipping is a bit of a pain sometimes.
My problem is I get spoilt when I get them in like a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all of them should happen like this. And then I'm still waiting like a month and a half for like one to turn up. I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, it's like sometimes they arrive in a week and sometimes they take 3 months. It's like, thanks for that.
Yeah, there's no proper rhythm. And I just had one that was supposed to be delivered last week. It ended up in Wellington.
Thanks. Thanks, New Zealand Post.
Yeah, they sent it wrong. And I had to ring them up and be like, hey, you've delivered this. And they're like, yeah, wrong island, wrong place. No. So I'm having to get that checked out. So that's super fun about AliExpress. You get it for cheap, but you have to wait 8.
Yeah, I'm all about instant gratification, so having to wait for stuff to arrive is just horrible. Like, I'm really exciting. Well, not really, but I'm about to order myself an office chair for work because our chairs are just terrible. I'm going to buy myself a nice gaming chair for work, and I have to order it by the 8th, and then it's going to take like 3 weeks to arrive, and that's just the worst.
Yeah, that's like one of those balancing things. It's like, do I spend like $10, maybe like 20% more on an item and get it straight away, or do I save a lot of money but wait ages?
Yeah, well, this isn't even that. It's just that it's a pre-order, so I have to pay for it. It's not a small amount of money, and I just have to wait. Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was buying so much stuff off AliExpress and eBay that I'd probably be getting like at least a couple of packages a week. So it didn't that
And
wasn't quite as bad for, waiting, because even though I was waiting, there was other stuff arriving.
Yeah, I'm having that at the moment. I'm just coming down off the peak of my AliExpress, buzz as it is. I think the post office actually started to recognize that, because at the start I used to get packages any day of the week, so it'd always be like a little like, "Ooh, is today the day?"
Yeah.
But then they started picking up on how much packages, and I wouldn't get any packages till Friday.
And then,
then
so they'd gather them all together.
Yes.
Right.
And I'll just be like, I understand this makes it easy for you, but it's upsetting me that I could have done something maybe 2 days earlier.
Yeah, even waiting like overnight for a courier package is too long sometimes.
Yeah.
I hate waiting for packages.
Yeah, especially because sometimes I just literally stare at my letterbox. Like, even though I know the mail comes at like 11 o'clock in the morning, I just stare at it. I'm like, is it there yet? Or I'll futilely check at like 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, has it turned up? No. Okay.
Another night's sleep before it shows up.
Yeah. All right. Go for start a question. Does your family have any secret or famous recipes?
I don't think so. We have lots of recipes, like there's, uncle's meatloaf and dad's casserole and that kind of thing. But it's not secret or famous. It's just this is the thing that the family's always eaten and it's good, so we just carry on passing it down.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything that's famous or secret.
Yeah, I think my family's the same. We don't have any secret recipes. We have like tweaked ones, like Anzac biscuits, but you put like, I don't know, nutmeg in it or something, and it just makes it like a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think the biggest like secret or famous recipe trick my mum taught me was in a family recipe book. Look for the messiest recipe.
Because it's been cooked the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember doing that. I got a recipe book and I like flipped it open. I'm like, oh, this is a messy page. What is it? Afghans. Okie dokie.
Ooh, better cook those. Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, now I kind of use my phone or iPad for recipes, but I have to like put it way out at the kitchen because otherwise I'm going to get that messy instead.
Yeah, I have that. If I want to bake something I know I've done 100 times, I still have to like Google it.
Yeah.
Or I go on YouTube. I'm like, how to make rice pudding? And I like, watch the video, like 10 times over.
Yeah.
And I made it, and then my mom's like, this takes 2 minutes. Why did you watch a video? I'm like, I didn't know. It's the Google factor. You forget things that you can easily Google.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or I guess sometimes I'll print it out and then like just put it on the bench. By the time I'm finished, you can't read the recipe because I've gone, I printed it out. I can print another one. So it's just stuff all over it.
Yeah, that or I like write it and I'm like, I'm going to put this somewhere safe and it's gone. I will never see it again. Yeah. Right.
All right, final question.
Woo.
Let's see. Finish it off with 500. When is failure a success?
Ooh. Failure a success. I think failure would be a success when you've learned something from it.
Yeah.
That sounds really obvious.
It does, doesn't it?
Or if you've grown from it.
Yeah.
Like I've had situations where something's gone completely like belly up, whether it be like a production that like I've forgotten. I've actually had this. I was doing a little movie production in high school. I made sure everything was perfectly set out, except I forgot to do a call for the main actor. And it was like about to shoot. I'm like, where is she? And I rang her. I'm like, where are you? What do you mean? We have a shoot tonight. I didn't know that.
Oops.
Didn't know it. Tell the main actor. Okay, I'll come and get you. So I think that'd be, where that or you've intentionally meant to fail. Like when it's like the first pancake and you're like, oh, I'm just going to screw this up anyway. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
I screwed up. Yay.
Yeah, so you've succeeded at failing.
Exactly.
It's really mind-bending when you think about it. If you succeed at failing, then have you succeeded or have you failed, or is it both?
Yeah, it'd be both, but like one slightly more than the other. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much covered it. If you learn from it, or you're meant to do it and you're meant to fail.
That, or if you're being really vindictive, like yeah, if a teacher's told you like, you can't pass this exam, so you're like, no, I won't, and then you just fail it, and then you're like, I have the high ground, even though I failed the paper.
Yeah, that's
high ground.
Or I'm not condoning this at all, but like if you really don't like someone, then their failure might be a success for you.
Oh yeah, I admit.
But we don't do that.
I have. This kind of happened recently. So I live in Arrowtown, Queenstown area.
Yeah.
It's a very picturesque place.
Yes.
And I was going for a drive one night around the golden hour, which is sunset. And I was playing Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull up to this Pokestop and I park and I'm on my phone, and this like tourist comes up and bangs on my window and she's like, "Could you move? I'm trying to take a photo." And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. So I sat there and I pretended to be on the phone for like 15 minutes, and I waited and I watched the sun go down. I'm like, no, not staying. And when the sun was down enough that streetlights came on, I'm like, yep, time to go. And I could see them behind me. They're like taking a photo, trying to crop my car, like angling it. And I just remembered feeling really petty. And
that's some awesome petty revenge right there.
Like, I've had a bad day. I'm just trying to play some Pokemon Go. No, I'm going to sit in my car. I'm not going to move. And I think at one point, when they were taking a photo from far away, I'm like, I'm going to tease them. So I put on my brakes.
Yeah.
Like, I was turning on the car to go. I was like, no.
No, just joking.
Just joking. I'm going to sit here till the sun goes down. I've looked up. It's in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Wow, you even went that far. Nice.
So that's my petty success story.
Very good. And that's us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a good conversation. We managed to get through a few questions and, have some good discussion.
Yeah. Found out my secret hiding place and destroyed all my morals. Woohoo!
Yeah. Uh-oh. Sorry. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.
If you'd like to be on the show, you can go to tcbi.nz/guest form and sign up. Anybody is welcome to sign up, and I would love to talk with you. And until next time, to our listeners, add one friend to one episode of this podcast with two open minds and see where it leads. Thanks for listening.
Now that was interesting. Bye-bye.